Well, thank you, friends, for joining and tuning into the Own Your Sparkle YouTube channel by Nicole Scott. And I have a special guest here. I know that you see in the corner, she's 12048. There might be a secret code for that. Maybe I'll have to ask her later, but her name is Shannon and she is from Manitoba. And I just started following her on social media because, like, look at that hair, like OMG. So, she went cold turkey and embrace that beautiful sparkle. And we're going to dive in today and talk to Shannon a little bit more, get to know her and her journey. And I know you guys are always asking for stories. So I thought Shannon would have a great story about one, her look, because that is brave and bold. So thank you, Shannon, for being here. Thank you for being a Canadian. A lot of my interviews have been American. So it's so nice to find a Canadian woman that's doing what I did 2 years ago. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Nicole.
So let's dive in. Shannon, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and why you decided to stop the dye.
Wow. Well, a little bit about me. I'm 46. I'm okay saying that. For the longest time, I used to joke and tell everybody, oh, I'm still 25. But no, I'm 46 and very proud to be 46. I'm enjoying this time of my life. I'm married. I've got three children, one stepdaughter and two boys as well. And what else? Oh, I can tell you I'm retired at 46. I've actually been retired for a number of years. I'm a retired police officer. And as far as transitioning, like you said, it's cold turkey. This color is really the color of my hair that it was. And I did dabble in trying to do the blonde and the brown and, different colors over time. But my color is black, and to try to go from black to blonde or platinum or silver is very, very difficult. I tried it. 5 years ago, I tried going to the silver, and I sat in the salon for hours and hours and hours, multiple sessions, and essentially it fried my hair. And I have to say that my stylist was really, really supportive. She had for many years said, no, you don't want to do that. It's going to wreck your hair. It's going to wreck your hair. It's going to wreck your hair. And I'm like, okay, I need to do it. Let's just do it. Let's try it. So finally we tried it, and it did it. I went to Mexico 4 years ago, and it was for a wedding, and we came back and I was looking at the pictures and I was so excited. I found this beautiful, like, red dress down there with these bright orangey yellow flowers. And I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to wear on the beach for the wedding. And then I got home and I was looking at these pictures, and my hair matched the dress. My hair was like this bright orange, and I'm like, how come nobody told me? So then I went back to my stylist and I said, no, I need to go back to the black. And my hair was like falling out. It was breaking. And so we went back to the black, and it was still really damaged. So I chopped it off. It would have been this short. So where I am now, would have been there 4 years ago, and started from scratch, just let it grow, but I was still dyeing it. And it happened like every 2 weeks, I was dyeing my hair, and I was doing it myself because I refused to pay the salon costs. It's expensive. I have a lot of hair, and it adds up. So I was doing it at home and just decided I needed to stop.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love your story. And, your color of black was my color. So it matched my brows, like the dark,
Okay.
right? And so I did what you attempted the first time, which was I fried my hair. I think I added it up. I spent $2,500 to yeah, $2,500 over the first 10 months. I sat in that salon chair for 7 hours to try to get it to be this like perfect blend with, like, no
Mhm.
demarcation mark. And I fried it. It was horrible. I was like, I cried. I was so sad. I was like, what did I do? It looked great when it was all polished and all the chemicals, but it was fried. So I've had to do lots of chopping in the whole bit. So I definitely, if women are watching, and I've done videos on this, not my favorite recommendation. It costs a ton of money. You sit in the chair long, and you fry your hair. So you've gone cold turkey. It looks beautiful. When I see that, I'm like, this is a woman that is a rebel. She's like a badass. There's actually a movie out there. What is it? The gray is the new um, blonde. And
Yes.
and she interviews a woman in the movie like you, where she goes cold turkey, and it just looks so good and badass. I love it. So congratulations for you finally making a decision. So what was the why then? Would you say the why was that you were just so sick and tired of having to diet every 2 weeks? Was that your big why, or was there a deeper why?
Oh, Nicole, I think well, I know for me, it was, there is a much deeper why. Um, I really, well, me wanting to bleach out my hair to go to the silver, I tried to chemically achieve silver. I wasn't afraid of the gray. I wasn't afraid of the actual coloring of my hair or to say that I have gray hair. It wasn't that at all. It was more, I was holding on to a lot of past traumas and just experiences in my life that, for whatever reason, I thought if I hold on to my youth, it will give me more time, to heal and to deal with past things. And the other piece of it was I was really afraid of showing all of me. There was a lot of, I guess, conditioning over my youth of being told that I had to be a certain way and I had to portray a certain image and I needed to be a certain person. And for me, I was still trying to figure out what that was. And so if I just keep my hair, right, the color that it's supposed to be, the way society wants to see it, the way that my family had told me it was supposed to be, then I was doing the right thing. And I got to a point in my life, like I said, I took early retirement from the RCMP. And part of it was really changing for me. It was my husband and I had been thinking about it for quite some time. That's another whole story that I had fought to get in there. And I got in and did many years, policing. But my husband and we lost all three of our parents within a year. And I had already been thinking about, is this the right spot for me to be in? And our boys were quite young still. And, I just got to the point where it was like, no, like I need to make some life changes. I need to be doing for me and not what I think everybody else is expecting. And so this is me. This is me just allowing myself to be. And I am so loving it. I'm enjoying it. I'm embracing it. It's really freeing. And when women talk about, well, why did you decide? Like, I love that you asked the question because it really made me sit down and think. Why really, right? And I've been growing with that it's been, people asked me a while ago, why'd you decide? And I'm like, oh, I just got tired of it. I was just ready. And then really, well, no, that deeper meaning, it's there.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So you stand out. So you go to the grocery store, you go shopping, whatever, you're out. What do people say when they see you? Because there's not a lot of people that go cold turkey. I would say it's one of the few options. Most people will chop it off, try to hide it, blend it, but no, you go cold turkey. So you're a showstopper. People must stop you and want to have a conversation. Do you get a lot of that?
You know what, early on, I didn't have a lot of that, right? And I think people didn't notice it as much as I noticed it, right? When you got those roots coming in and you're thinking, oh my gosh, everybody sees it. I think I saw it more than everybody else did.
Right.
But now, absolutely. And even like a few months ago, after a year, there were so many people that have commented and, it's such a wide range of people too. You
Yeah.
know, like I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, well, it's the young people that are really noticing and enjoying the gray. But
Yeah.
like I had an elderly gentleman actually stop me in the store, and he's just looking at me. He said, I'm sorry that I'm staring. He said, but I love your hair. It's like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, it's really nice. And, you know, there's a lot of women, men, younger people that comment, you know, they like what I'm doing with my hair. And I have had the question of, did I do it myself? Like, people, it's almost like they're not sure if they should ask.
Yeah.
You know, they'll say, is that your normal hair? Is that your natural? You know, and I don't know if they're concerned they're going to offend me, but you know, I'm okay with people commenting, and I haven't had anything negative.
Amazing. That's great. So support from your husband, your kids, your family, they've all been behind you 100%.
Pretty much. My husband, absolutely. He's just like, you know what? Do what you want to do. I said, you know, I think I'm ready. I'm just going to let my hair grow. And he was like, okay. Like, if that's what you want to do, then absolutely. Like, and he loves it.
Yeah.
The boys, they're young, very young teenagers.
Okay.
So our youngest is just turning 12,
Okay.
actually. And then the next one is 13 right now. So it's
Oh,
been a year and a half. And
okay.
when I first told them, and my stepdaughter is 18.
Okay.
So when I first told all of them, my stepdaughter was all about it. She's like, oh, that's so cool and wonderful. And the boys were like, no, you're not. Like, that's terrible. It's horrible. But all they knew me as was with dark hair, right? Like, mom always had dark hair, and old is gray.
Yeah.
And that's what they said. They said, well, you're going to look old and you're going to, but that's just what they hear. And now well, our middle child is shocked that there are actually people on Instagram talking about hair, because he's like, you guys are talking about hair? But yeah, I mean, they're very supportive now. Now they say it's not gray, it's silver.
Mhm.
And they really like it. They think it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it looks so great. So, women that are watching, I have a lot of women in the Gorgeous Gray movement on Facebook. I started a couple years ago thinking that there'd be a few people join, and we're well over 1,000 women from across the world. And this video is going to go and plop right down there, and they're going to, be like, wow. And they need women to follow. So, I'm going to say two things. What would be the advice of women that are sitting on the fence? And then afterwards, you can share how women can follow you so that they can get inspiration in your transformation.
So my advice is, first of all, you need to be ready for you. That this is so much more than just a hair transition. And the hundreds of women that you will find, right, that are transitioning and are in the midst of it, or fully transitioned like yourself, can, I think, really say that it's more of a journey, and it's a self-acceptance. It's, you know, there's a lot to it. So you have to be ready for you and not for anybody else. Don't do it for anyone else. But when you are ready, I think a big thing is just to have patience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is patience with time, and patience with your hair, and patience with yourself. That if there are moments where you're feeling like, I'm not sure this is what I want to do, and you know, am I doing the right thing, to give it time. Because even as time goes, people change, and your hair tone and hair color changes, and your hair pattern changes. So you don't know, from those tiny little roots that are there, you don't know what you're going to look like. You don't know what it's going to do. And the other piece is to have fun with it, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like to make sure that, you know, for me, this was my hair. And now I will do the messy bun, and I put up pigtails, and I try different styles, just to, you know, earlier on, I was actually doing styles that accented the
Mm-hmm.
growth,
Yeah.
so that you could see it and it looked intentional. And I said that was the last piece. The other piece, self-care. Really, really, really important. I found that some days for me early on, that if I didn't do the things that made me feel beautiful for
Mm-hmm.
me, that sometimes I felt kind of down, right? I'd look in the mirror and I would be like, oh, am I really just like Am I going to look old? Am I not going to like this? But if you take the time to do what makes you feel beautiful for your own self, then, it's certainly um, helpful to get you through the process.
I love that. That's a really good point. Most of my followers know that I'm a holistic nutritionist. It's my second career. I had a scare with my daughter. She had a compromised immune system, and she was my wake up call that got me on a different path. And so when you talk self care, that really resonates with me. And it shows up differently for everyone. For some women, I have a lot of friends that don't wear makeup and they feel awesome and beautiful without makeup,
Hmm.
right? I
Yeah,
have women friends, they're like, I won't leave the house without my makeup because that's what makes me feel awesome and beautiful. And I love how you positioned it as whatever your self-care is. There's not
absolutely.
regiment of what it needs to look like, right? So I love that we're not putting women in a box, that self-care has to look like this. It just has to, as you are about, do you, do self-care, right? And, of course we know the basics and stuff, but of the movement and the good food and the hydration and, making sure that, you're sleeping well, but whatever that is beyond, I love that message. So there are going to be women that are like, oh my gosh, I want to follow her. I want to see her transition. What are your, handles? How can people get a hold of you, follow you? You mentioned that you're a writer, a blogger, and I'm sure people will want to learn more from you.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I do have a public account on Instagram, and so it is this.is.me_Shannon. And then as far as my blog, I am a beginner blogger, but it's there. It is shannonsnotsosecretdiary.com.
I love it. We'll put that information below in the video here. And for you as a gift, I'm going to be mailing you out my new book, Get Naked with Your Natural Hair Color. So make sure that
Holy.
message me with your address and I will sign copy it. This is something that I worked on for a couple years through my journey. So I pretty much document my journey. I talk about self-care. I talk about, if you're not ready, that's okay, but all options, healthier options that are out there in the world, a lot of stats, a lot of information about the dangers of hair dye and what it's linked to today. And then of course, my spiritual journey that I have gone on. And yeah, it's just full of a lot of stuff. Hair care, how to, because I don't know if you found that with gray hair, you get those little wild ones.
Oh,
People say,
yeah.
do you pluck them out? Do you? I talk about that in the book, but oh my gosh, let me tell you, the hair it does change. The texture changes,
Absolutely.
but I have more of it and it grows really fast. So I know it's healthy. It's just having to tweak how to manage the silver, gray, color, natural color. Because what I love about this journey, yours is so beautiful in silver. Mine at the very back, I'm very much like you. Do you see the dark, how dark it is at the back versus how light it is? Um,
Yep.
so I always joke the 50 shades of gray is kind of like what most women go through. There's not too many women that have the same color all around,
No.
very rare, right? So it's nice to see the variety and the diversity. So
I
yeah,
love that everybody's transition is so unique.
so unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to continue to follow you. I want to thank you for your time. If you guys love this video, make sure you share it with another woman that needs to hear this message. Thank you for joining us from Manitoba, Shannon. I do appreciate you. And until next time, tune in to Own Your Sparkle and make sure you like our page. Have a great day, everyone.